Hello guys, I was testing some class items and build ideas from my hunter, and there's one I really like. It's so good in this week Grandmaster Nightfall, Glassway, and the best part is it's not a melee build. I know there's a lot of discussion that the best prismatic builds, especially for titans, are melee builds only, and a lot of people don't enjoy them, and honestly normally they are not the best for grandmasters, so I decided to make a build that will fit most playstyles and is extremely good in this grandmaster. Right now is actually my favorite build to run this grandmaster. I have incredibly fast abilities, and those abilities will make this grandmaster so much easier for you in your fire team to finish off combatants with your weapons. I'm using the amazing Heart of Inmost Light on a hunter. Yep, I love it. It's awesome. It's so good. You unlock these exotic class items by doing the exotic mission Dual Destiny, and then you can farm it or farm Pale Heart chests to get more exotics. I got one with Spirit of Inmost Light and Spirit of the Coyote. So Spirit of Inmost Light will give me ability regen, a lot of it. Using an ability empowers the other two. Guys, at ×1, it's already 400% base regeneration rate. And at ×2, it's 800% faster. Just like these, the loop between our abilities will become so much faster and easier. But I also got Spirit of the Coyote, so we get an additional class ability charge. 2 dodges. This makes this class item godly, simply amazing. Why? Because with Prismatic Hunter, you have access to Winter's Shroud. When you dodge, you slow enemies. If you dodge twice, they freeze. But there's more. If your other aspect is Threaded Spectre, when you dodge, you also create a decoy. Enemies will shoot them instead of you, and when they explode, they generate 2 threadlings. So when you dodge twice, you create 2 decoys. You are freezing enemies, empowering your other abilities, and you are putting 4 threadlings on the battlefield, more than a threadling grenade. And this is just the dodge, the class ability. Our grenade will be the Duskfield grenade, a grenade that leaves behind a field that slows targets and freezes them if they stay inside that field. This one is amazing for controlling enemies, especially on the Glassway Grandmaster, because you want enemies to go to that left room and you want them to tunnel up in the middle. So you throw your grenade, and because it slows, it will stun overload champions and will freeze enemies. Remember, your dodge also stun overload champions. I do a lot of Sherpas on GMs. I have more than 500 Sherpas, and one thing I see a lot in this GM is if players are not ready to stun overload champions, they will die. But with this build, you have 2 dodges that can stun and 1 grenade that also stuns. At one point, I forgot to put overload and cannon perk, and I only realized almost at the end because I wasn't using it. I was just stunning everything with my abilities. And if everything fails, you have your super Silence and Squall. It got a buff on the final shape, but honestly, it's just the easy super to use. Doesn't do a lot of damage, but it freezes targets, so it's great to control groups of enemies, does damage to them, and you can use your own weapons to finish off the remaining enemies. On our other abilities, on our melee, we're using Threaded Spike. This one is amazing for GMs, especially with this build. So you throw a dart that bounces between targets, damaging and severing them. Guys, this last part is huge. A severed target deals 40% reduced damage for 8 seconds and can spawn tangles when slain. And we pair this with a Gambler's Dodge on our class ability, and when we dodge near enemies, we fully recharge our melee ability. The worst part about GMs is enemies they hit like a truck. Well, if you keep severing them, they won't. And with our class item, we regen abilities really fast when we use them, so it's easy to slow, freeze, and sever targets. All these abilities have one thing in common. They make the activity easier. Enemies are either frozen and can shoot at you, or severed, so when they shoot at you, they do less damage. But remember, we have the decoy, so because of that, most of the times they're not going to be shooting at you, they're going to be shooting at the decoy. Like, this is a puppet master build. You control the enemies at this point. You control the Grandmaster. I love this playstyle. And it's not a melee build, it's an everything build. It's so good. So let me show you all the fragments, mods, and stuff like that. I'm using Facet of Protection. Normally we are close to enemies in this GM, so this will make us more resistance to damage while surrounded. Facet of Ruin increases the size and damage of the burst when you shatter a frozen target. Awesome. Facet of Dawn, power melee hits against targets, makes you radiant, and final blows also make your allies radiant. This one is really good because your melee will sever targets, and now it makes us radiant. Radiant is a 25% weapon damage increase. There's a perk on the artifact that makes you radiant when you pick orbs, but this way you have radiant on demand. You don't need to rely on orbs. You want to be radiant, you'll be radiant all the time. Awesome. Next is Facet of Hope. While you have an elemental debuff, your class ability regen even faster. That's awesome because our class ability is a huge part of the build. Facet of Sacrifice, it gives you 10 discipline, and while you have Arc, Solar, or Void buff, Radiant is a solar buff, ability final blows grant bonus darkness transcendence energy. And Facet of Devotion, defeating targets afflicted with stasis or strand debuffs, well, most of them will be, you will be granted light transcendence energy. And transcendence is just amazing. I use it a lot, and with this build you get it really fast. A lot of it because we are using Wishender. Wishender does so much damage, especially on Grandmasters. So it will give both dark and light energy because it's a kinetic weapon. On the artifact, I want to focus on two: Shield Crush and Transference. Shield Crush will recharge your grenade while you have Radiant. You'll have Radiant a lot. And Transference will make your abilities do more damage while Transcendent. And guys, Transcendent is just so strong for this type of content. The ability spam is absolutely amazing. But now let me show you the armor mods I use in this build. Let's start with Dynamo on the helmet, so when you dodge you get super energy back. And because we are using a kinetic weapon, let's go with Kinetic Siphon, so this way you generate orbs. And Powerful Friends. You're probably going to do a GM with this build, so you're going to help out your friends. On our gloves, Grenade Kickstart. When you throw your grenade, if you have armor charges, you get grenade energy back. This is very good for this build. And Impact Induction, causing damage with a power melee, reduces your grenade cooldown. And Bolstering Detonation grants class ability energy when you cause damage with a grenade. On our chest, I normally use one each, one Void, one Solar, one Arc. In this GM there's a lot of Void damage, so if you want to double stack it, you can. On our boots, Insulation reduces class ability cooldown each time you pick an Orb of Power, and Recuperation. It will give you health when you pick that Orb of Power. Stacks on Stacks is amazing because when you pick an Orb of Power, it will give you 2 charges, and this will help greatly with Grenade Kickstart. So when you throw the grenade, you get even more energy back. On our class item, Distribution, it reduces all ability cooldowns when using your class ability near targets, even your super. And Bomber, so when you dodge your class ability, you get grenade energy back. And because we are close to enemies, proximity ward will be amazing. You will get a powerful overshield while performing your finisher. And that's it, guys. That's the build. I know it's an exotic class item, so not everyone will have this perk, but one thing I'm seeing, and I'm seeing that in me as well. I want Caliban and Liar's Handshake in the class item. I have more than 40 class items at this point, and I don't have that combination. So why am I looking for only one option when there are so many options? So I went to my vault, I checked what I had, and when I looked at this, I said to myself, I don't want a melee build to do a Grandmaster, I want this. This will be better. I will control the Grandmaster in a better way. It will make things so much easier. I tried it, and it did. It's amazing, guys. So if you have this combo, try it out. Let me know in the comments what you think. And even if you don't have it, just say something nice. It's always nice. Bye, guys. See ya.